Well, if you ever plan to motor west, take my way, it's the highway that's the best. Oh, get your kicks on Route 66. Route 66, we're going to be doing this one in the style of Chuck Berry. There are a lot of versions of this tune, but we're doing it in the old Chucky style. New ukulele every Wednesday and Saturday. If you like this kind of content, hit subscribe, ring the bell, never miss a lesson. If you want, you can get a printable song sheet and tabs for this tutorial and all our tutorials by becoming a Patreon. Link in the notes, information in the description, and a link to the specific lesson is pinned in the first comment of the comment section. So check the description as well as the comments for some timestamps. The way this is going to work is a breakdown for the beginners. If you're comfortable strumming with chords, feel free to jump right to the play along, and then after that, we're going to take a look at some Chuck Berry style licks as well too. So you can feel free to jump forward to the play along if you're more advanced, or right to the licks. If you're a beginner and you need help with these chords, the strums and everything, let's go ahead and jump into that. The chords, we need an A7, just one finger, first fret of the C string. D7, two ways. I'll be playing the bar the second fret, middle finger, third fret of the A string. If that's too hard for you, you could play middle finger second fret, ring finger second fret of the G and E strings, open C, open A. That functions as a D7. Doesn't have a D note, but it works. Then an E7, index finger, middle finger, open E, ring finger. You could also take this D7 shape, move it up 2 frets. You have an E7 there. Okay, so those are the chords we're using. Meaning everything that we did in the Blues Challenge in A licks. All that you can mix with this song, which is really, really exciting, meaning that you can take this, learn it to play it like Chuck, but then also kind of change it around and make it a unique version of your own tutorial, or your own cover. Those are the only 3 chords you're going to need. So let's take a look at the strum pattern and let's walk through the progression. Sounds like, or without the mute, it sounds like this. And I'm just going really down, down, up, down. 1, 2, and 4. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. Sometimes I'm catching an up after that last down, like down, down, up, down, up. But it's not really that intentional. I'm really focusing mostly on going down, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down. The groove with the mute is and what I'm doing is I'm going down, and then I take my loose fingers and I place them across the strings, and now I'm muting them all. So I go down, mute, up. Practice just that. Okay, and then once you get confident with that, I just keep my fingers down, and then I go up, down. So I go down, mute, up, well, down, mute, up, down. And that's muted. So it's down, mute, up, down, mute. And it's all muted. It's kind of hard to say because it's like down, mute, up, mute, mute. Down, mute, up, mute, mute. But the mute, mute is up and down. And there's also occasionally I'm catching that up in that last mute as well. And so that would be one measure. And if the chord progression of the verse is just going to be 1 A7, 1 D7, 2 A7. Again, use the D7 you're comfortable with and the strum pattern you're comfortable with. With the open strum and the easier D7, it's just well, if you next time through 2D7 to A7, just take my way. It's the highway. That's the best. Just take my way. It's the highway. That's the best. Oh, get your kicks. Last time through, 1 on the E7, 1 on the D7, 2 on the A7. We'll get your kicks on Route 66. We'll get your kicks on Route 66. So here we go, first verse, and we're going to take it nice and slow, all right? It's a pretty quick song. We're going to play through it slow together right now. 1, and we're going to come in, the lyrics start on the 4th beat, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3, well, if you, okay? 1, 2, 3, well, if you ever plan to motor west, just take my way. It's the highway. That's the best. We'll get your kicks on Route 66. Nice and basic, right? If you were to do a more open strum pattern, you would get, well, if you ever plan to motor west, take my way. It's the highway. That's the best. We'll get your kicks on Route 66. Now, because the turnaround goes E7, D7, A7, A7, that second A7, if we want to, we can do something like, we'll get your kicks on Route 66. And just add an extra up in there. Instead of going down, down, up, down, up, we can go down, up, down, up, down, up. And that one little extra up actually does give it some hot sauce. Okay, so that other progression that I alluded to is the part where we kick it off when we go, well, they go from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty. And what's going on here is we're going to do a down on the A7 just one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strum pattern. So you do just 3 downs on the first beat. Then the 4th time, you do the strum pattern of your preference. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, mute, up. And I would actually probably do something like, even throw an extra little stab in there if I were strumming through with the muted option. If you're more advanced with the muted option, feel free to mix that up and occasionally throw in some extra strums. That has a lot more of a feel option to it, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and continue this part. We just go through the D7 and the A7 the same, 2 strum patterns. Okay, and then we get to the turnaround, and it's actually just going to be 4 strum patterns on the E7. And then you're into the next verse, all right? when I do the E7, the mute is a little more traditional because I'm not able to take it all off and mute. That's the advantage of that E7 shape if you wanted to use it. Okay, so now that you know how to play the pre-chorus, let's go ahead and look at how to put the lyrics with it. It goes, well, it goes, and goes is going to stab and correspond with that first A7. Well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City. So those are the first three. Well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, looks oh so pretty. And then O on the last time, you're actually going to strum through the A7. So, well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, looks oh so pretty, you'll see. So after those first four, you'll get to that D7. You'll see Amarillo, and it's Amarillo. The rill is where you start the second D7. So this is a little tricky because it goes, you'll see Amarillo. You'll see Amarillo. Gallup, New Mexico. So that's a little tricky. It's not, because the word is Amarillo, and you want to hit that second D7 right on rill. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, and don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Barstool, San Bernardino, won't you get? The change coming out of this is also pretty tricky when we go through that E7, because after San Bernardino, you go, would you? And you actually start the verse where you're still playing that E7. So the last four, let's take a look at those, just those E7s, because that's also kind of tricky too. Just those keywords are Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Barstool, San Bernardino, won't you? So you're going to go, San Bernardino, won't you? And you're going to actually say that won't in those lyrics before you head to the next verse. Now, of course, you're strumming these, so really slow, just that last four is Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Barstow, San Bernardino, won't you? Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Barstool, San Bernardino, won't you get hip? So that's how you transition to the next verse. So let's go ahead and play through this pre-chorus, and then we're just going to keep on continuing into the next verse so you can see how these pieces come together nice and slow. So nice and slow, here we go. Well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, looks oh so pretty, you'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Barstow, San Bernardino, won't you? Ooh, sorry, won't you get hip to this kindly tip? Sorry. Just take the California trip. Oh, get your kicks on Route 66. And then that's just the ride out. Get your kicks on Route 66. And it fades out, so I just play it 3 times here. Well, get your kicks on Route 66. And there you have it. All right. So let's actually try to put all of these pieces together so you have the beginner version that you can sing along to. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is going to be still kind of slower, right? Slower than the record because I want you to be able to go ahead and get this whole version. After this, we're going to take a look at the little intro piece, the riffs, and some cool Chuck Berry licks. All right. So if you're more advanced, there's still some stuff coming for you. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, if you ever plan to motor west. Just take my way, that's the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Well, get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks oh so pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingston, Boston, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this kindly tip and take that California trip? Oh, get your kicks on Route 66. Well, it goes from St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks so, so pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona, Kingdom, Boston, San Bernardino. Won't you get hip to this kindly tip? That's not that good right there. And take that California trip. Well, get your kicks on Route 66. Well, get your kicks on Route 66. Oh, get your kicks on Route 66. Boom. And there you have an easy beginner strummer version of this tune. Again, the mutes, the percussive style, that's up to you how much you want to include that. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to zoom back in and look at some of these licks now. Okay, so let's take a look at the intro now. There is a riff. And I like to play the riff, but let me show you the strumming if you were to play with a friend or if you were to play the strumming instead. It starts off on the and after the 3. It's like and 4. You're going to go up, down on an A7. And 4. Up, down. And then on the 1, you're going to go down on the A. So you go and 4. 1, D. Second beat is D. And then the 3 is again down up on the A. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and. So it's a little tricky. Okay, so that's the first measure. The second measure starts on the D, then goes to the A. So it's like 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So if we combine those, we get really slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. Okay, after those two, we're going to repeat it again, but note that very last down up in the tabs, we've removed that. So if we play through just this nice and slow, I'll count to the third beat, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3. And then we're into the song, okay? A little more up to speed. 1, 2, 3. And then we'd be into the top of the song. Now, over that, though, there's this really cool riff playing that sounds like this. 9, 10. Then you're going to slide to 7 and then play 9. And then you're going to, with your ring finger, play 9 and 9 of the E and the C. So you go 1, 2, and. Just like that. The first time through, the riff starts on the 2 with a quarter note on the rest on the 4, and the second time it starts on the 1 with the whole half beat. So it's like 1, so it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Just like that. Pretty basic, and you would play that over those chords. So that's the intro riff. Now let's take a look at some riffs that are playing throughout the solo, and you can just throw these in as fills if you want something like, well, if you ever plan to motor west. So this one's cool. You're going to play 2-2 of the C and the E. Then you hammer on, you play open of the C and the E, hammer on the first fret, and you play the second fret, A note of the G string. So it's like 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then this happens at a bunch of different speeds throughout the song. It's like 1 and 2, or sometimes they go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, for example. It also plays the other way. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So you could do something like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That plays throughout it, makes a really cool little fill, and it's a classic Chuck Berry, and you could also use that anytime you wanted over the blues in any key, or in the key of A over any blues song in A. Here's another really cool lick that I like. Really, really cool. Anytime you bend two strings at the same time, it's cool. Open E and A, 2-2, open E and A. And I'm just doing eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3-3, 2-2, open, and then back to 2-2. But I give it this cool kind of vibrato bend. Really, really nice sound. Works great. You could throw that in. Makes a great fill as well. So it works great. A lot of these fills too, when you use them as fills instead of a solo, try to aim for like the fourth measure or the eighth measure right after the lyrics. Well, if you ever plan to motor west, it's a great time to use it. And here's another basic little lick. You can feel free to modify this one all you want with the A minor pentatonic, and it goes. So I'm giving this third fret a little half bend. This is my major third. A7 has a C sharp in it. So I'm giving this a half bend, third fret of the A string, and then open. Open E, third fret, sliding up to the fifth fret. So when we play it one more time, this comes from the A minor pentatonic, but it's also basically an A arpeggio, A7 arpeggio, because we're implying that C sharp. Flat third, micro bend implying the major third, root note, the E note is our fifth interval, flat 7, slide to root. So anytime you see an A7, you can throw that one in. And then those are 3 licks that you can throw into our Route 66 song. All right, and there you have it. Route 66, Chuck Berry. Thank you so much for watching. 10 Thumbs Pro, rock and roll. Catch you next Wednesday or Saturday.